In the Gospels we read the story of a man who was full of leprosy, who came to Jesus, and he said, "Lord, if you will, you can make me clean." And if you think he's full of leprosy and the effect that leprosy had on a person in those days, that meant that he had to live separate from everybody else. He lived a life of rejection, he lived with stigma, and he said, "Lord, if you will, you can make me clean." And what did Jesus do? He reached out his hand and he touched him. In Zulu it's Lulisandla Kumntwana. And that's basically what we want to do to children who are carrying all those burdens of stigma and rejection and feeling completely lost because they're orphaned. So I was involved running the children's home, but it became very obvious during the late 1980s and then into the 1990s that we were going to have a major crisis with many, many orphans. And institutional care was not the right answer because the numbers. Obviously there are a small number of children who need care in children's home because of particular family circumstances, but generally speaking, children's home is not the right option for alternative care for somebody whose parents have died. And that's, I mean, when I say it's the only problem, that's not to minimise the problem, that's not, they don't have major problems in the family apart from that or whatever. So, you don't want to institutionalise children, you don't want to remove them from their roots. And in our area, the extended family is still alive and well. So the majority of children who are orphaned will be living with a relative, but they still need help because you've got a grandmother who might have lost 3 or 4 children, and then all of those grandchildren who are dependent on her were already in a previously disadvantaged area where people don't have very much to live on, and people were borderline anyway, and then the breadwinner or the person who went and ploughed in the fields or went and sold something by the side of the road to get a little bit of money in is gone. And now the grandmother who would be dependent on that person plus her old age pension is now having to be parent all over again. So we felt that the right approach would be to support the extended family. Where we work is this area that's outlined by the blue line here, which is the same area as covered by Lulisandla Hospital. Lulisandla Hospital, and where we are is up here, right up in the north of the area. So it's about 125 kilometres long, it's about 30 kilometres wide on average, population of about 95,000. As I say, we've got over 4,000 orphans on our database out of that 95,000. HIV in our area is very high, so 1 in 10 of the adult population in our area is on antiretrovirals.
We're going to meet the team members, volunteers who work for Lulisandla Kumntwana to help orphans and vulnerable children in their homes. They help them to identify those families who are in need.
Basic food parcel costs about 225 rand. Ideally that would be a month, but we don't very often give people food parcel every month unless they're really, really desperate, because we have too many people that need food parcels.
God still loves them, so they must go to church, and they make them feel like they have someone who will take care of them. And we're also going to visit those families to give them food parcels, and we found out how they live since we left last month. One is 12 years old and another is 10 years old. And then the young one is 6 years old. As you see here, they don't have food. The only food they have is this one. They also given by us. So the child phoned me and say, "We don't have food at all, so I must come and give them food."
We started very small, but now we have 4 coordinators who work with those teams. There are 54 teams and 430 volunteers. And it provides a network of care because we've got 4,260 children in our database. So obviously, even with a staff of 20 that we have now, there was no way you could keep tabs on all of those. But because we've got this sort of network, we are actually able, we do pick up very quickly if there's a problem.
And also we'll visit after schools club.
We got 21 after schools club.
Whereby those children, they are doing different activities like Islam and gospel music, and sometimes they have teachers who teach them about the life skills so that they will get self-confidence.
We do activities, we assist them in homework. If the child comes and approach us that I'm having a problem in maths or whatever, then we do tackle that portion of it.
And to encourage them to attend the churches, because some of the children, as they lost both parents, they think that they lost their parents because God hates them. So they encourage them and tell them that God still loves them, so they must go to church, and they make them feel like they have someone who will take care of them.
Yebo,